Hey, hello everyone, Chubby Film Nerd here to talk about my review on The Swiss Army Man, which is a film directed by the Daniels, two directors who go by the name of Daniels, so that's how they are named in their films, so that's what I'll be calling them. I can't pronounce their last name, so I'm just gonna go and call them the Daniels. But it is their first film. And it is a very odd film, I would say, that pretty much has probably one of the most fart jokes and the most use of fart noises I've ever seen. But the film stars Daniel Radcliffe, whom you guys all know from the Harry Potter series, and Paul Dano, who has come out in such great films like Little Miss Sunshine, There Will Be Blood, and 12 Years a Slave, who he is personally one of my favorite actors that are out acting in the industry. More about the plot. The plot will be a little bit weird for me to describe, so I will describe to it as best as I can, but it pretty much is about a guy named Hank, who is played by Paul Dano, and he is stranded on a deserted island, and having given up all hope in life, he tries to kill himself, but everything changes once a dead corpse washes to shore, and this corpse's name is Manny, and it's played by Daniel Radcliffe, and he has these special abilities that make him work as a human multi-purpose tool. And the two of them become really good friends, and they go on an adventure to pretty much for Hank to go back to the woman that he loves, and pretty much a life lesson for Manny to learn a little bit more about life. It is a very odd synopsis, but it is how to describe this film. Swiss Army Man is basically one of the most weirdest movies I have ever seen that have come out this year, but it is so outlandish, and it disarms you in a way that you don't expect it, and a lot of people I've heard that have walked out of the theater when it was first released at Sundance, and they didn't even give the film a chance to kind of like get into it and all that stuff. I mean, and I could kind of see that because when I went to go watch this film when I went to go watch this film, my mom and my sister were looking at it, and they only saw like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and it was basically a scene when Daniel Radcliffe washes up on shore, and his corpse is just farting like non-stop, and that was off-putting to my mom and my sister, so they just basically walked away because they didn't bother to even go watch it with me, and so they didn't even sit through the movie. But despite all its outlandish weirdness that the movie has, it surprisingly has a sense of heart to the movie. And it's mostly due to the charisma of the film and the charisma of both the performances of Daniel Radcliffe and Paul Dano. Paul Dano, as I said, he is a great actor, and so he pretty much puts his A game in every film role he's in, so I expect nothing less from him, so I don't want to praise his performance because I know he's always going to give a good performance. But so what was surprising to me about the movie is Daniel Radcliffe's performance as the corpse Manny. It is so weird and so outlandish and so out of the tropes of Harry Potter that, you just only... Whenever I look at Daniel Radcliffe in other movies, I always just see him as Harry Potter, but this, I would have to say, is Daniel Radcliffe's best performance to date. He killed it in this role, and I'm pretty sure it was pretty demanding because he had to play like a stiff corpse, and that could do all these magical abilities to like shoot rocks out of his mouth, spew out water, fart, to the point where he Paul Dano uses him as a jet ski and all that stuff, and he just killed the role. And you know, but he also played, but you know, Daniel Radcliffe also has this curiosity about him, you know, that even though he releases all these his gaseous gases inside of him because he is the corpse, he there's this sense of wonderment and curiosity to his character, that he always wonders things about life, and pretty much Paul Dano teaches him how kind of like how the world works and how everybody just keep things to themselves. And Radcliffe's character, the corpse, like as he pretty much understands it, he just thinks that was stupid, and that he doesn't even know why most people would keep things to themselves. So I just thought that was an interesting development to Daniel Radcliffe's corpse character. And yeah, I mean, it's really weird movie, so most people will be put off by it, but I implore you to give it a chance as you're watching it. It might seem a little like very odd and very weird at first, and you know, and there's a lot of farting a lot, but what's so funny and what's so odd is that that kind of becomes the farts. I would say the farts kind of become a little bit of a metaphor through the movie as to, you know, people holding in things that are too afraid to let out. So that becomes that sort of a metaphor. So it starts to like make sense, oddly enough. But you know, but like I said, this is a movie that's meant for people who are adventurous and would like to watch something very different, very daring, and very original, because this is an original movie. It is an original piece. Like, I can't compare this movie to other movies. That's how original, and that's how far out it has gone off the grid of you know, categorizing it as a genre. But it's charming. It has heart. I mean, there are moments in there that it has you know, really good, like it gets you emotional, you know, in a way that you kind of relate to the characters and, you know, the difficulties of love and friendship. And that's what the movie does very well. It's also visually beautiful. A lot of things that they built, and, you know, sometimes it does a little nod to the tribute to cinema, and which you will see once you watch the movie. But yeah, and it's just a surprisingly touching movie, a surprisingly amazing film, and you know, I would recommend it for those of you who are very adventurous, who want to get off the tropes of, you know, like typical movies, blockbuster movies out there. So I would suggest you give this a chance. It might be off-putting to some, but I definitely recommend it if you are a little bit more adventurous and want to get off the tropes a bit and kind of like wonder what other movies are out there for you. I think my only gripe about the movie is a little bit of the ending, but some of its humor is a bit hit or miss to me, but overall it's a good movie and I would recommend that you watch it. I'm gonna have to give this a 7.4 out of 10. And yeah, that's my review for The Swiss Army Man. Okay, well, hope you guys liked the video. Leave a comment down below and tell me, you know, your opinion of Swiss Army Man, and what you thought about it. Hit that subscribe button if you want to watch more content from me, and you know, show your support. You know, and hopefully I'll put out more content for you. Well, this is the end of the video, so this is the Chubby Film Nerd signing off. Thanks.